Hello, my beautiful rainbow people. Welcome back to the Controversy of Zion, my pot smoker's Bible program, where I try to get into as much trouble as possible by creating the foretold controversy of Zion, which is named after me. Hello, my name is Zion. I am the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible and Book of Zion, which are published on YouTube on the Pot Smoker's Bible channel. And I am, as I said, Prophet Zion from the Old Testament prophecy, the book of Isaiah, chapter 54. That is my resume, if you will. 4,000 years ago, my life story was told. Now, I want you to understand that it wasn't particularly my life story that was told, but you see, God, the great, those who from the heavens came, before they left, they foretold the most likely logical scenario for the ending of our society. And they set in motion a set of circumstances that would lead to this scenario, which is Zion. Now, the parameters of the scenario was that there would be a girl who had certain qualifications. She would be a whore. She would be a singer. She would be barren. She would love a man who rejected her in her youth. And she would pledge to be the servant of God. Ta-da, here I am. Those are my qualifications. And you can look me up. I have no children. I sang with a 50s revival in the early 90s called Zam and the Hot Rod. So I did sing. Been there, done that. So I'm a singer who was a whore in my youth because I was sexually molested by my uncle and others. And I was traumatized so much that I would let any man have sex with me because I was too afraid to try to stop what was happening. And that's how I became Zion, because when I started dealing with the problems of sexual abuse, well, I hit a brick wall. Society didn't want to do anything for me. My family didn't want to do anything for me. I was literally the skeleton in a closet. So I turned to God. And God answered. I was 17 years old at the time. And I said a prayer that led me here to this program. And I am not sorry a bit. Now, a lot of you, two-thirds, as a matter of fact, two-thirds of you are going to call me crazy with everything that I'm saying and doing. And my answer to you is this. That's what happens when perverts get a hold of little girls. They go crazy. So, call me crazy if you will. Because, yeah. But I'm crazy because this society put me into a position where any man who had the mind to could rape me with impunity. This wonderful society of yours created somebody just like me. And that is exactly what the prophecy foretold. Now, I am not the only woman who qualifies to be the Zion of the Most High God of Israel. Any woman who sings was a whore, loved a man who didn't want her, and was barren would be able to qualify. But the only true Zion would be the one who found the prophecy, followed the instructions, and published a book. Guess what? It's exactly what I did. So that makes me the particular person who becomes the Zion of the Most High God of Israel. Look me up. I'm in the book. The Bible. The 54th chapter of Isaiah, as a matter of fact. So, I am going to read it to you so that you can see for yourself my credentials. And you can refute it all you want. But the facts are the facts. So, Isaiah chapter 54. Sing, O barren, thou that didst not bear. break forth into singing. Cry aloud, that thou didst not travail with child, for more are the children of the desolate than the children of the married wives, saith the Lord. Enlarge the place of thy tent, and let them stretch forth the curtains of thy habitations. Spare not, strengthen thy cords, and strengthen thy stakes. For thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left, and thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles, and make the desolate cities to be inhabited. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither be thou confounded, for thou shalt not be put to shame, for thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth, and shalt not remember the reproach of thy widowhood any more. For thy Maker is thy husband, the Lord of hosts is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the God of the whole earth, shall he be called. For the Lord hath called thee as a woman forsaken, and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth, when thou wast refused, saith thy God. For a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies I will gather thee. In little wrath I hid my face from thee for a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith the Lord thy Redeemer. For this is as the waters of Noah unto me. For as I have sworn that the waters of Noah shall no more go over the earth, so have I sworn that I would not be wroth with thee, nor rebuke thee. For the mountains shall depart, and the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from thee, neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed, saith the Lord that hath mercy on thee. O thou afflicted, tossed with the tempest, and not comforted, behold, I will lay thy stones with fair colors, and lay thy foundations with sapphires. And I will make thy windows of agate, and thy gates of carbuncles, and all thy borders of pleasant stones. And all thy children shall be taught of the Lord, and great shall be the peace of thy children. In righteousness shalt thou be established. Thou shalt be far from oppression, for thou shalt not fear, and from terror, for it shall not come near thee. Behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by me, saith whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. So, I fulfill every single stipulation of that chapter. I am barren. I have no children, except for my alien daughter, the hybrid Rihanna, who is the first living hybrid. And if you say, disqualified, I wouldn't be so sure about that. Because the very first chapter of Isaiah, states that the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, as a lodge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. So there is reference to a daughter to Zion. And Zion, again, is in the first chapter, is established. It says Isaiah 1:27 to 31. Zion shall be redeemed with judgment, and her converts with righteousness, and the destruction of the transgressors and of the sinners shall be together. And they that forsake the Lord shall be consumed. For they shall be ashamed of the oaks which you have desired, and ye shall be confounded for the gardens that you have chosen. For ye shall be as an oak whose leaf fadeth, and as a garden that hath no water. And the strong shall be as tow, and the maker of it as a spark, and they shall both burn together, and none shall quench them. Now, this last part of the passage is in reference to marijuana, the plant of renown from the book of Daniel, that that is used as a teal tree, as a tree who is dried up, whose leaves are used in the dried form. That is the seed of Israel, according to the prophet Isaiah, who is the founding prophet of the movement Zion. And Zion is literally the prophecy of the Old Testament in its true and rightful form. The Christian mythos about Jesus returning is just that, a myth. He's not coming back. And he told you twice. He told you, another shall come in his name, speaking as he speaks, and you should follow him. This is the Messiah, the true Messiah, the husband of my youth, who refused me, and who I mourned for my entire adult lifetime. But that's beside the point. The point is, Jesus is not coming back. He was never going to come back. Because according to Isaiah, Christianity is a lie. It is a false religion. It is an idol worshiping religion. In the 40-ish chapters of the book of Isaiah, you will find a complete and true to life depiction of the cross. A man hanging on a tree, hanging on a wall, and everybody bows down to him. I dare you to go to 10 churches and tell me how many times you walk into that church and you see a wooden cross with a man hanging on it. That is an idol, and that idol is just that, an idol. And all who follow the idol are fools. But not to despair if you are a Christian, because Jesus was an Israelite, a son of Abraham. And if you follow Jesus, the true historical person, Jesus, not Christ, then you are saved by his teachings, because his teachings were true. And you can get to Zion through Jesus. And through Zion, you can get to heaven. Oh. Now, I'm not talking about dying and go to heaven. I'm not talking about a mythical afterlife heaven. I'm talking about the stars, the universe. I'm talking about going not only to Mars, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, but let's go to Alpha Centauri. Now, maybe I might not get there in my lifetime because I'm going to be way too busy taking care of you guys. But some of you that are walking this earth right now could very possibly, in 5 years, be on your way to Alpha Centauri to meet and greet the entire universal society that we are now about ready to be entering into. I'm not talking a mythical religion. I'm talking about a new reality where God is gray, and gray walk among us, and we walk among them. And not only gray, but there are 11 other established empire species, we'll call them. They have dominions, parts of space where they have control. Not because they're allegorical or anything like that, because they're just the oldest race in that region, and they set up their society first. So they went out and exploring, and they found other species, and they made them part of their society. So each of the 12 species, and the gray are one of the 12 species, is like an umbrella for multitudes of species. So it's Star Wars and Star Trek combined without the war. Because the reaches of space are far too vast for there to be conflict like what we have in Hollywood. That's just Hollywood hype. Those are just stories. Because there's just too much space. It takes too much time to go across the interstellar regions to ever engage in something so far-flung as a war. So, I am Zion. Zion of the Most High God of Israel, foretold prophet of Isaiah 54. And I've come to set us free to create the new nation of Zion and to bring to earth the great gods of our ancestors. So join me, please. If you use drugs, stay happy and high. You have every right and reason to. Believe me, I know. I wrote the book. My name is Zion, and I never say goodbye. Some say later now.